Oh, we've gone live. We're alive. It's alive. Hello, everybody. We've missed you.
Hello, Patreons, should we say.
Patrons.
Patrons.
You're beautiful people. Thank you for your continued and valued support.
Yeah. As Paul would say, you're good people.
Yeah, you're good people. The best people.
Who likes the thumbnail for this video?
Oh.
I wondered what the hell you were doing.
Why can't I nip this good? Forgotten how to do it. Come on. What?
Do you take it out of the case for that one? Or
Nah.
Okay, you've done it.
I've done it. Hey, Monica, how are you, my lovely? Thank you.
You got glasses on.
There are Mardy ones that, because I'm worth it.
Hi, Alex. Hi, Lee, and Julie Kennett.
Oh, she's another lovely Patreon of ours. Patron. Oh, still jumpy. Oh, King Arugula is in the house.
That is a shame.
He's Stratford.
You eat your
Oh,
snack.
he's got his hat. He's got his beanie. Oh, have we thumbed up the stream? Feel free to thumb up the stream or get out of here.
You eat your snack.
What have we got?
And then I'll eat my snack.
Tell the lovely people what I've got
So
today.
it's a lentil soup that I made yesterday.
It's got other things.
And there's pasta in there.
There's pasta up in there.
It's sort of flavoured with garlic, ginger and chives. And yeah,
Oh, yum.
just pasta and lots of black pepper.
It's delicious.
And just loads of different veggies, really. Left over from yesterday.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, is Purple Piplup already here?
Oh,
Is Purple Piplup present?
you only allowed to say it once.
No.
Julie's asking, how is our cat? Which cat were we talking about the last time? Mitzi?
Probably Mitchie, I should think.
Yeah, I took her to the vets a couple of days ago and they said she's doing okay, really. She's got an eye infection, but other than that, they said she's doing pretty good, so that was real good news. Thank you for asking, it's very kind.
What sort of pasta is this?
Brown rice pasta?
Oh.
Yeah, I cooked it a little bit longer to make it a bit softer, because I always find brown rice pasta to be really tough. But I actually think I made it a little bit too soft, because then I had to heat it up again a second time. But it's nicer than it being really hard, I think.
That's not what you normally say.
Anyway, Scott Girl says Happy New Year.
Thank you, my friend.
Race Vegan says hello.
Hello.
King Arugula says, hey there, boss.
Who's good people?
So Lee's got his hat. Awesome, good stuff.
Nice, enjoy, my friend.
We've sold so many of those beanies. We're out of the purple and the brown. We've only got one pink left, so we're going to order some more soon.
What sort of colours are good for beanies? Anyone have any preferences?
Well, the pink and the purple sold the best. They sold really good. Well, the black sells the best.
Yeah. Brown was a bit of a
Yeah, no,
non-starter.
not so many people interested in brown. But if anyone would like it in a different colour, we're open to trying different colours.
As long as it's not stupid.
Perspectives. Money Chan's great, full of life as of recently.
Lovely. How many times have you been to the gym now?
It jumped. John says sorry for the first question. Don't be sorry.
That's what we're here for.
Do you believe carb worse for acne than fats?
Nah.
Wouldn't
Most acne, 90% of acne is down to dairy, is one thing. There's one specific hormone in dairy, and it's also linked with prostate cancer, this particular hormone. Nah.
Isn't it worse to have your your blood fatty, so you've not got such good oxygen? And
We're meant to run off of high carbs, I'm sure of it. Yeah, and if you think like historically, like if you think in terms of like easily attainable quantity, like naturally attainable quantities, you can dig up tubers all year round, like trees that have like tons of fruits. You know, avocados are for about 2 weeks. Like nuts and seeds, like, you know, nuts are in like, they're in huge sort of fleshy casings, and then there's a hard shell and there's loads of work. Animals tend to run off when you try and murder them. And no, high carb FTW.
Cowboy was upset because she got shut out. Sorry, Cowboy.
Oh.
King Arugula saying I've got a stream going right now. How very dare you?
Oh. Sorry.
Streamception. Livia Greg, your fave vegan food or product, please. Keep up the good work.
Ah, thank you, my friend. And thanks for joining. I can't remember seeing your name before, so welcome. Whereabouts are you? Favourite vegan food? Oh, I'd have to say just generally like Indian, like curries and things. Curries, dosas, just all the good lentils and herbs and spices and rice and flavoursome. I don't know if that counts as vegan food. Well, I suppose it's vegan.
I particularly enjoyed today. We did a recipe video, 3 ice creams, healthy ice creams, and there was a chocolate peanut butter one. Was that what it was? That was particularly good. That's my favourite healthy thing that I've tasted in a long time. Yeah.
Or product. In terms of like vegan like food products, nutritional yeast. Well, that's not technically specifically for vegans, but it's a very good food.
I just made some pasta for tomorrow, my lunch, when I'm on my course, and I made a cheesy sauce. I blended up like chickpeas with loads of nooch, bit of garlic and some water, and I can't remember what else I put, but yeah, it was just like a cheesy sauce, but there was no need to put a load of fat in there. It just tasted so good. It was awesome.
Cool.
EI, hi from Ireland. You two are such an inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend, and welcome. How's the vegan scene where you are?
Vegan? No, what are you doing? I thought he was eating my snack.
Looking good. Thank you. That base goes. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Julie. That's very kind.
Thank you for your kindness.
Bob V7. Hello, love your videos. Have an exercise question. What is good for back, beginning and intermediate?
So in terms of upper back, like I'm really a big fan of training the lower lats first because they tend to lag and they're like the weakest part of the sort of lats continuum. Well, you know, when you're in the fully shortened position. So like a low pulley wide grip, a low pulley narrow grip row, like with like a medium sort of hand spacing, or it's also a supported row or a bent over close grip barbell row. Something like that to hit the lower lats, and then maybe something in the mid range, and then something where you're at stretch, like a pull up or a pull down. Historically, I always trained this movement first, and I had great upper lats and no lower lats, and yeah. So why not try, when you're strongest, why not emphasise like your weaker area, and you've got more energy. Yeah.
So this looks, I think this is my answering my question about beanie colour ideas.
Yeah.
Red and one person said like.
I was thinking of like a maroon with yellow stitching.
Yeah.
Sort of a red, isn't it?
Have you done any wrestling or BJJ before?
Well, yes, I have. Yeah, I sort of I did a year or so when MMA first, when the UFC first came out. So where I trained, it was actually called shoot fighting for a time, but then they realised they were giving it the game away, that they were going in for like a shooting takedown. But and my background was in Japanese martial arts. I'd done a bit of Japanese jiu-jitsu, which obviously was where the Brazilian sort of evolved from. And yeah, I've not done tons and tons. Like I did more sort of striking arts really, but yeah, done a bit, and it came in very useful being a doorman. Very good.
Today you were talking to a lady who's writing your book, weren't you?
Yes, I was. He's biography.
Doing a biography, and was recording a lot of stories of the past, and it just reminded me how much we've both changed from years ago.
We were terrible people.
Yeah, it was really sort of weird to hear and remember. Well, I think before, when you said to me, can you remember any stories of violence work from the past, and we were recording them, it felt different to when we were then retelling them in front of someone else.
Yeah.
Who we know now, who didn't know us then, and who's vegan and lovely, and it felt different, didn't it? I think that was the difference. When we were recalling it, maybe we get into that mindset of how we kind of were a bit then, and we just recall it in a more of a fond, how funny we were sort of a way. But then when you're retelling it to someone else, and you
by the end we went for about an hour and a half or so, or a bit longer, and by the end I started to get really like self-conscious and think like, oh, there's spewing out a load of story after story of like violence, and
I was thinking of it.
I felt a bit self-conscious, really, like a bit weird about it.
Thinking of it from her perspective and what she might think, and I felt compelled to say, oh, whatever must you think, you know. I realised I was sort of saying it because I wanted her sort of assurance that she still liked us, I suppose, if I'm really honest about it. So yeah, it's a funny other thing. But
the idea of the spokes of the writer is saying, you know, if we show how different you are, like, you know, how bad things were and how much you've evolved and, you know, become like a better person, and it can just inspire people. So if not, I wouldn't really want that going out there.
Yeah, you have to really think about the legalities of it, aren't you? About
and the legality of something.
You know, if you say a lot of these stories, can you get in trouble for it, you know? So yeah, coming soon.
They never quite managed to get me, them old rotters.
It would be unfortunate if years later you confessed it all in a book and that was your downfall. Oh, I'm not funny. I'm not funny.
I did it on a YouTube video. I mentioned this incident on a YouTube video that happened to me, where I ended up throwing a guy out of the vegan meetup group, and buddy ended up having to give a police statement, and that was really like used against me. They don't even name names or anything, but the solicitor said, no, you can't like really deny it. So don't go doing that, people.
Yeah. Becky Johnson says hello.
Oh, lovely.
Jasmine says, I've been waiting for this all week. I've just gotten from such a stressful day at work.
Welcome. Sit down, put your feet up.
Sorry to hear
You're
that.
among friends now.
Oh, it's the weekend. Hopefully you've got the weekend off.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat my snack.
Oh, yeah, the gang's all there, aren't they? Except Amy. Where's Amy at?
My big old bowl. I didn't really need a bowl this big for tonight's snack, but like the choice I had was a tiny little pathetic breakfast one or like a massive one, so I've gone for this one.
Cyrus is in the house. Word up. Not been on there in a while. Wanted to congratulate your parents and the BBC article about veganism and being a top vegan influencer. Well done you. Thank you, my friend. Really kind notice. Yeah, so according to, I can't remember who they're called, but they kind of look at who like the top influencers in terms of like different social media, and supposedly I'm the 9th most influential vegan influencer. God knows how that happened.
That is insane.
Yeah, I guess it's just if you're that passionate about something, it all just spews out of you, doesn't it? It's well
deserved. I just I don't know. I'm just shocked when I hear something like that. You know.
Yeah, I'm really blessed. Monica, I've been to the gym once. I wanted to go today, but an unfortunate event happened. So I tried to get a similar workout at home due to only dumbbells. Thing is, I'll go on Sunday. Yeah, nice one, and do a routine and a half. You can still get a decent workout done at home, especially if you're sort of relatively new to the gym and you don't need huge weights and things. I'm thinking maybe about coaching. We're moving soon, maybe to this. I don't know how much you guys might know a little bit about this or not, but just in case you don't, we're probably going to move into this big vegan guest house, and it's going to offer like retreats and like, you know, like health and maybe some fitness stuff. And I could get a little gym in there. I'm thinking about maybe coaching from home. It will be technically. We'll be like living there as permanent residents. Yeah, so that might be a thing. But I will have a power rack and Olympic barbell and dumbbells and a weight stack and all that sort of thing.
Looking into it, aren't we?
We're looking into it. Yeah, it's a big step, but it would be nice to be among people all on the same mission.
Scary and exciting all at the same time.
Yeah, it's a big sort of gamble in a way, or potentially like it seems like a risk, but I think like we'd get each other business in terms of residents wanting to stay, and maybe they want to train, and maybe, you know, because Amy, who moderates on here, she's coming to train with me, so she's going to stay there, so it sort of works both ways. So we'll see. Bronwyn Smith Vegan Mexican food is pretty good. Yeah. Mexican and Indian, I'd say, are my favourite cuisines.
Italian's good. You got the pasta and pizza, although that's probably just very stereotypical and not exactly, not what Italians eat, but it's part of what they eat.
Yeah, I like Italian. They have some good produce, don't they? King Arugula said, smash the like button. Elbow smash the like button. I like King Arugula. He's good people. I think he's gone now. I think I'm going to award him a wrench. Boom. Hopefully you'll see that at some point. He seems like good people. Bob Vides 7. It makes sense that we should be vegan. Animals don't use weapons to get food. Yeah. Just because we have done something historically doesn't mean to say that it's good for us. So people say, we're omnivores, like cavemen ate meat. And people will look back in 1,000 years and say, like, people in the 20th century and whatever that ate McDonald's, so that must be good for us. Or, like refined sugar and fried food, so that must be what we're meant to eat. It's nonsense. Appeal to ancestors fallacy. Monica's rearing everyone up. Yeah, hit that like button, goddamn ya. Judy Kennett, what course are you doing? I'm guessing the same that you.
Psychology and counselling. I love it.
We feel at some point we'll be working together, and maybe that'll be at the guest house. There's like the option of getting a room to use as a kind of office, and maybe that'll be another. Because health is not just moving and eating; it's mental, it's emotional, it's being part of a community, it's doing good for others. There's so many facets, but you need all of it in a holistic dealio. So weirdly, I've really discovered how much of a fan I am of learning about the gut microbiome. It is really pivotal on our mental and our physical health. And just the last 10 years, our knowledge has just really exploded. We don't know the half of it yet, but it's the most exciting area of nutrition study for me. It just seems so pivotal. If you look on a cellular level, for every one human cell, there are 10 microbial cells, like other creatures that inhabit, our colon, like every surface of our body, even intracellular, some of them. And basically, we evolved. They were there first. These microbes, or germs, as we used to call them. These bacteria, they were here first, like for billions of years, and now we've come along and we've evolved with them. And it seems that, so for every one cell, there's 10 microbes. For every gene in our DNA, there are between, how do I put it? We are at most, in terms of genes, 1% human. It may even be 0.1% human if you've got enough different bacteria, and they are so diverse in their genetic makeup. And so if we have 20,000 genes, which depends on what you're counting as a gene, but let's say, for instance, humans have 20,000 genes, then these bacteria have 2 million to 20 million genes, and they are affecting our metabolic processes, like all the chemical reactions and things that have to take place to keep us alive. 99 to 99.9% of the DNA that's affecting that is these microbes. It's so fascinating. Anyway, I digress. What the point I was trying to make, I was reading up about it, and it was saying how 95% of our serotonin should be made in the gut, and it seems to have. Well, I won't go off on another tangent, but basically, what this guy was saying is, in the future, psychiatry will have to expand to encompass like the gut microbiome, because that's where hormones are made, or the majority of them, and so which then is what Gemma's getting into. So, and then we thought, we'd never have enough money for a facility, at least not for years to come. But now all of a sudden, looks like we're going to move into this big premises. There's these rooms we can use. And that seems to be maybe where we'll really gel fit together and where we can really do the most good. I think that's fascinating. I've found these podcasts. So I've heard people speak of the gut microbiome on different plant-based podcasts and in the odd video. But now I've actually found there are dedicated podcasts to the microbiome, and I've been learning so much. Did you know that they can, so the future of forensics as well, they can, within about 95% chance of, you know, getting it right, they can match your fingers to your keys on your keyboard. They'll know which fingers hit which keys. They'll know whose palm has been using that mouse just by the microbes that we share. And did you know there's a cloud of microbes? You have a microbiome cloud that follows you around everywhere. And so they're saying the future of forensics, like they'll be able to know like who's been there by the bacteria that are left behind. So, and on the one hand, going back to my former years, I was thinking, oh damn, like I've done some naughty stuff and I've got away with it so far, but maybe with modern technology will they be able to like catch me out? And then I thought, oh wait a minute, my microbiome would have been a lot different back then because I was eating meat and doing a lot of unkind things to my body, and now, you know, it'll be a totally different microbiome, totally different set of bacteria. And the good news, one more thing very quickly, all of the good bacteria, and we know so far there's 10,000 different bacteria that can inhabit our colon. They say at the rate we're finding them maybe 35,000. 10 years ago we knew there were 200, so it's going through. But anyway, every single one of these good bacteria that give us the best mental and physical health, they rewrite our DNA to make us more cancer-proof, to lower our risk of heart disease and things. Every one of the good guys are whole foods vegans. What about that? They eat fibre and resistant starch found only in whole foods. The naughty bacteria that will give you terrible anxiety and depression and ramp up your risk for heart disease and cancers and diabetes. They don't eat whole plant foods. They eat animal products.
Have the resources, and he will say it's not a lack of resources that's a problem, it's a lack of resourcefulness. So he'll say like if your child was going to die tomorrow if you didn't go out and like do a certain thing, I don't know, like get £1,000 or I don't know, whatever the thing is, like you would do it, you'd find a way. Like we have the resources there, but we just don't dig deep enough sometimes to get to them and to do the things. We think, oh, something's not a priority. We think, oh, you know, I don't have to do it, I'm not going to. But if we make something a must for us, we'll find a way. So that was interesting.
Thunder Bay personal trainer Logan Blake. Check him out on the YouTube. He's great. Views on eating insects and how much insects should you eat for mad gains. Zero insects. Zero insects because they're good people.
And no one's dying from lack of insect deficiency.
Except for anteaters. But good question. Livia, correct. I know you guys to all vegan food. I love vegan peanut ice cream. Thanks you to Austin Peace Love from Barcelona. We have a few people in from Barcelona. I met Carlos Barbon. He's from Barcelona. Lovely guy. He does a lot of protests against the bullfighting and whatnot. Vazgen Avagian. You said my number correct.
Lovely.
We aim to please. I probably butchered it that time. Jesse Hitman's in the house. What's up? Hungry Greek Mexican, vegan for life.
Can I have a little bit of your water over there?
No.
Please. I'll put my microbiome in it for you.
Sorry about plastic. So again, getting back to the old microbiome, no more tap water for us. It's got chloride, which kills all the good bacteria. So we've ordered some filters for we've got a Berkey filtration system, and but we're waiting for them to come. So just in the meantime, boiled water not great, obviously, because plastic can leach into it. But probably what I know now about, you know, the microbes and stuff that we need in order to be well, maybe the lesser of two evils. Obviously, it's not great for the planet. So
we are recycling it, but
yeah. John Sanchez, thanks for answering the first question. You're welcome. What is each of yours caloric intake for the day? I was on 5250 calories on a recent bulk. I'm probably on about 4,000 currently on a cut. I don't know exactly because I sort of look at my food and I know I have 100 grams of grains. I have a can of legumes, and I know that I've trimmed back 75 grams of grains, and I've halved my fruit intake at most meals, and so I'm looking at it like that. But at a guess, I would say I'm on 4,000 calories. That's looking a bit dodgy there, isn't it?
And I'm on 2,500, and that's maintenance calories for me.
Well, it's not because you're losing weight.
Well, yeah, I have actually lost a bit of weight, so it's a little bit less than my maintenance calories, I reckon.
Is that good? Jesse, Paul, do you eat kale stalks? Yeah, I do. I think because I'm too lazy to pick them out. Yeah, we typically buy pre-chopped, which is good because it'll have produced all the sulforaphane, so you don't need to worry about that dilly. And yeah, that's probably half the reason I leave them in. Zazgen, respect us. Us is, I used to say that at karate as a kind of Japanese thing. That's where that came from. From Japanese university, actually. Monica's a bit jellified due to working out. Rory, would you ever go raw vegan? We were pretty much raw vegan for 2 years, although I did have protein powder. But I found not the best for me. And then from what I've learned more lately in the last sort of 3 years about how it's all going to come out in the Game Changers movie, which is out any time now. But according to some experts, it looks as though we've evolved into starchables in terms of our dentition and the amount of amylase we produce relative to other primates and a few other things, which I'm not privy to yet, but it'll all be in that film. And I must say, since I've gone more towards starches, like I've had a lot less dysbiosis in the gut. I've felt a lot more well, and going high fruit was a benefit after eating, omnivorously. But this has been another step up again. But some people anecdotally say they're great, so I'm not going to poo-poo them. And Gemma's got the invisible trumpet. It must be time to move on.
You were purring me.
That's like the sort of thing I'd say. Oh, he's got a bad knee at the moment.
Oh.
God damn. Do some upper body. You can do upper body. Come on, there's always something you can do. A bit of core. Bob Vise, what is something very high in fibre you eat? I have to get mine up. Everything I eat is high in fibre. Every single thing. Really, we should look at food. The old food, eat well plate or whatever, and you've got your meat and your serving of calcium-rich food. Which really should be your greens, but they're saying dairy and whatever. Really, your plate should be, I think, about a quarter legumes, a quarter whole grains. Half of the plate should be veggies. Emphasise your leafy greens, but get some other coloured different veggies in. Maybe some mushrooms, a little fruit, a little nuts and seeds. Yeah, it's all got fibre, so you wouldn't come up lacking. It's really all about whole plant foods, If we eat animal products, if we eat processed, refined carbohydrates and refined like oil, that will still lead to a terrible health outcome. But if we eat the whole plant foods as they come from nature, they're all packed with fibre. Historically, if we look at coprolites, which is like fossilized paleo poo, we now know from research that they were eating 150 plus grams of fibre a day, which modern tribes people in Africa do as well. And and we need that in our gut, feed our gut microbiome, and also to stimulate peristalsis, which then pushes everything through. So it's not in the gut long enough to cause problems, The kind of
all the technical terms.
I know all the words.
And
I can do everything you can do and more.
Rick and Morty reference, if anyone watches that.
No, I was just being what's it called?
Narcissistic.
Narcissistic.
Do you know how much fibre you eat in a day with like 5,000 calories?
Yeah, I think I'm on about 180 grams. God damn.
No wonder you pass stool regular.
Yeah, if I passed any more stools, I'd have to open up a furniture shop. I'll keep. I won't give up my day job. Desma, are you going to move in with the twins for the gym thing? Maybe. I mean, the gym's not definitely going ahead, but it looks like most probably we're definitely moving in. I think it's a bit cat dependent. It's a little bit up in the air, but it looks like it's happening. And probably with the gym thing, I'm thinking.
We will need to make a few phone calls and things to check like that we'd
the legalities.
That we'd be allowed to do that, because we don't want to set up a business and then we get told, oh, hang on a minute, you're not allowed to do this, and then
especially if I have to spend several £1,000s to get a gym
on equipment and so we need to do a bit more research on it, don't we?
Yeah, but probably is the answer.
If we're allowed to, we'll do it. I imagine is the answer, really, isn't it? Then.
Yeah. Monica, that sounds and that sounds amazing, Paul. Can't wait to let you know the progress I've made this far. Yeah, man. If you don't know everyone, Monica got a nutrition and workout plan for me, and she just braved it, went in the gym. I got a little bit emotional, I'll be honest, Monica, when you told me how well you were doing and that you had braved it. And it's a big step for people I know, like the first time stepping in a gym, and I got totes emotional. It's lovely. How lucky am I that I'm in a vocation where, I get that kind of feedback from people, and the greatest feeling that a human can feel, in my view, is to do good for others. And so then when you hear all the benefits they're getting, it's totes emotion. I bet you'll be the same way with sort of counselling. Or
whatever helping profession I end up doing. Yeah.
But that's why you're drawn to it, isn't it? Is to help them.
Yeah, it feels good. Somebody has a problem or some issue, they need to work through or want to look at, and then if you've got some ability to help or just listen or like whatever, and then they're like, oh, I feel much better. That feels so good,
Yes, nice. J Rev, hey Hench, I am trying to gain some weight at the moment. Why I'm increasing my calories? Should I reduce /hard exercise to get more weight? I mean, it sort of depends where you are, like in terms of health, or like if you're over exercising particularly. It's hard to sort of put a number on it, but really, we should be doing something most days to give our heart and lungs a workout. We should be doing something every other day to give our muscles a workout. It's very important. So, if you're doing mad amounts of workout, enough to kill like a rhinoceros, well then maybe you need to reduce. If you're not doing a whole lot, it's eating enough calories to support what you're doing though. So without knowing exactly your ways and means, it's hard for me to say, but try to get some sort of workouts in. HMUL testing, we can hear you, my friend, we can hear you. And Monica, Paul, can I ask, do you stretch before or after a workout? I really want to avoid any type of soreness so I can go in the gym more frequently and not feel any sort of discomfort. So that delayed onset muscle soreness, some people say, and historically after leg training, it felt to me like if I bothered to stretch my muscles out after a workout, it seemed to speed my recovery time. I've not really found that with the rest of my body, but actually it doesn't get so sore now because I think your body becomes quite accustomed to it in a way. But you shouldn't static stretch before a workout. So pre-workout, it's a good idea to do some ballistic stretching, whereby you just, for a squat, you'd be like stretching your hams and your quads and your adductors and your abductors. So sort of leg swings and stuff like that. All the sort of movement-based, mobility drills basically is what I'm trying to say. I'm a big fan of the sun salutation from yoga. That's really nice. Stretches your hips and your back and all the kind of stuff I need to stretch out for my sort of particular problems. So the point is, when you're training, you want the muscles to stretch at speed. Like it's not like you're going to come down to the bottom of a movement and hold it there. So that makes sense that you do the ballistic stuff before. Afterwards, it's worth stretching off the muscles you've trained, but then you want to do static holds, or you can even do stretches where you're trying to get more supple. So, you know, make PNF, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, for all you nerds out there, where you're kind of, you know, you might be laying on the floor with a partner pushing your leg back, and then you push against the resistance, then you relax. As you relax, you'll find the muscle is able to lengthen a bit more, so you get lower, things like that kind of thing. More of a progressive stretch. But you're holding the stretch. So when you're training, you're shortening the muscles, so you want them to... You don't want them stretched out, because then it's harder to shorten them, because they're like sort of been a bit weakened, if you see how that works. You're trying to do this to them. After a workout, they're already here. And now is the time to do your static stretch and re-lengthen. And yeah, like probably it may be a benefit. You probably won't get rid of all the potential soreness, because that's kind of different. It's like muscle fiber damage, and you know, it's the waste products getting stuck in the muscle bellies. But yeah. That was a lot of words. Julie, your course will come in really handy. As people are addicted to certain foods, you could help beat the addiction.
Yeah, good idea.
Sure. Olivia, what do you think about fasting? Intermittent fasting seems to have some benefits in some ways. I don't think it's the best for bodybuilding. I've not seen anyone of any decent caliber like recommending it. I had someone say that it raises your growth hormone a bit, but my understanding is that it really lowers your testosterone for a time, and other than a huge supraphysiological boost of growth hormone, that would do nothing for your workouts. It would do nothing, but dipping your testosterone would seriously hurt. So, and for me, I like to eat so much volume of low calorie vegetables, get all the micronutrients in. There's no way I'd be able to eat in a short enough window. But, you know, I'm not poo-pooing it. I've not done it myself. I've not tried it. I've spoken to people who have, and they've raved about it. So, not for me, but maybe a lot of people probably would get it. I know there are some benefits in terms of hormonal response for some people.
Isn't Gregor doing some videos about it?
Yeah, Dr. Gregor's got some coming up, and obviously he really looks at the science, so that'll be worth. I'd be interested to see a bit more from someone who's a bit more objective.
Yeah.
HMU's comments usually don't appear.
We're really far behind, by the way.
Yep.
Really far.
Okay, let's rip into it. Oh, Nikki's there with her mum. Hi, lovely.
Well, she was
How
about
are you guys?
20 minutes ago.
Okay. HMU, do you do meal plans for non-athletes, bodybuilders? Yeah. Basically based around whole plant foods, and I really look at, you know, making sure that all the nutrients are covered. Yeah. Just anyone here doing veganuary? Good question. Baromanda 4, one of the best things you can do to promote healthy gut for the day is to just celery juice pure and apple cider vinegar. It helps people with irritable bowel syndrome. We're getting a pint of celery juice in the morning.
Every morning is our new routine.
On my last cut, I was doing apple cider vinegar AM and PM. I do put some on my salads currently. New Hope's in the place. What's up? Alexa Sada, hi. What do you think of the 10,000 calorie challenge? I think that's a bit silly. I used to eat 8,500 calories on the daily for fun. That was silly also. Let's see what I used to eat.
That was an answer to a question that somebody asked her.
Yeah. Oh, sorry to hear that, Nikki. Kearney's in the house. Howdy. Berman the Fool, Hench Herbivore, the future vegan detective, hunting animal crime abusers with the power of the microbiome. Stephanie's in the house. Hi, lovely. Hope you guys had a lovely Christmas New Year. Yeah, we really, we're just business as usual. You know, we were eating well. We were getting our water in, and we got an early night, and we felt amazing. And I went in the gym and smashed it, and a fun time was had by all, you know, but I feel really well and happy.
Hope you guys had a good Christmas and New Year also.
Felicia, nice glasses, eat more carrots, just kidding. Or you little tinker. And welcome. Vazgan, if I may ask, Romanian deadlift or regular deadlift, or do you do both? Being a lot more of a bodybuilder, I do more of like a stiff-legged deadlift for the hamstrings. I'll sometimes do a rack pull for the lower back, but like a regular deadlift sort of hits too much of both to fit well into a routine. And also I did herniate a disc when I was young, and I've kind of steered away from a deadlift proper. But yeah, I feel like it doesn't fit in my routine anywhere. Barraman the Fool, well, are you aware that plastic bottles contain some serious chemicals that affect the microbiome? So they, yeah, probably does, but more to the point, it'll really affect your hormones. So yeah, they're not good. We don't want the plastic, but currently I prefer that over chloride, which directly kills your good bacteria. Oh, yeah, when I was listening to this podcast all about it, the guy was saying, like, you have to treat the thing of the day that is killing people. And back in the day, people were dying from drinking untreated water. So it was a necessary evil at the time, and it was a benefit to humanity. And he's saying now, with the advent of bottled water, distilled water, filter water, why are we still drinking the stuff that's killing the essential bacteria that we need in our gut? So it seems crazy. So yeah, I saw sense. Vegan Mama, hey guys, stuff in the glasses, good look on you. I'm trying to look more intelligent. Maybe when I do Skype consultations or one-to-one for nutrition, I should put my glasses on. Do you know, when I used to, so I was a doorman for a lot of years, and I prided myself on looking big and scary, and then I worked in sort of retail security, like in a mail cop, and yeah, one day I didn't have my contact lenses, so I put my glasses on, and just, you know, it's still at that time I prided myself on looking mean, and then people started coming up to me and asking me directions, and I was like, like, people don't normally talk to me, and I realised that just because I had a pair of glasses on, like, I obviously looked less threatening, but I was still a dangerous mofo. Anyway, question for Jem. Are you a gym bunny or do you lift? If not, what do you do to stay in shape? You always look lovely.
Oh,
are you, little sweetie?
Well, I cycle everywhere, and I don't go to the gym at the minute, but it's my New Year's resolution is to get back into the gym. I'm starting to... I have to do things really slowly because of, like, my health. So I'm just adding in, like, sort of one exercise every day or two, and then I'll build it up to, like, 2, 3, and then by the time I'll do stuff at home, like body weight exercises, squats and press-ups, that kind of thing. And then when I have progressed enough with that, then we'll start going to the gym again. Yeah.
Felicia, I can't always afford bottled water, but I want to get a filtered pitcher. So what I would look out for, hon, is something that can take out chloride. I think that might be the worst thing, probably, in our drinking water. Or a distiller. I think you can get a tabletop distiller for about £60. I don't know if you can get many cheaper than that as well. Definitely £60. And then you've got unlimited sort of water from there. So that might be a good way to go. Linz Howard, evening chaps, and a Happy New Year. Happy New Year, hun. Thanks for joining. How was your New Year? What did you get up to? But I mean, I can't stress enough the importance of fats for raw eater for everyone. Really. Yeah, we do need some essential fats, don't we? Judy, maybe you could sell a vegan nutrition plate for people to follow. Yeah. Not thought of that.
Maybe in the cookbook that we're thinking about, you could have a page about it in there.
Yeah.
With a picture of, like, the plate and all that.
Yeah. Andrea Scorgan, have you looked into Tony Wright for return scientific study of fruit? As you evolve in mass compact food. Yeah, he's a fan chap. He kind of talks about a more spiritual perspective, doesn't he? And sort of puts that down to the fruit, a lot of it, I think. Yeah. He does have a lot of good stuff, the old fruit. Oh, who's donated 5... That's my lovely Jackie. Give us your money. Oh, thanks. Lovely.
I saw you commented a while ago, but we hadn't got to it yet, so I thought, we'll catch up in a minute and then say hello to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was thinking of Jackie today, and then she messaged a little, or she messaged about doing another Skype, and I thought I manifested her.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't manifest someone more lovely. Thanks, darling. We really appreciate you. Monica raises a good point. 10 more likes. Come on, people. Come on. It's not that hard. Come. Why are you on that? Jermaine Slaughter. Hey, Hench. Happy late New Year. What are affordable ways to detox in a short period of time? Don't retox is the main thing. Don't put in things that cause harm. So animal products, refined carbs, chemicals on your skin, chemicals in your food. Oh, look, who? Sebastian Wilkins. Free me. Oh, Sebastian, thank you, brother.
Wow.
Oh,
thank you.
Everyone's lovely. We love you,
you.
people.
Oh.
Thank you so much. Where was I? You know, try to eat as organically as you can afford to. It sort of makes sense for you. If you can't get everything organic, try to get the clean 15 and avoid the dirty dozen. You can Google that if you don't know what that is. And, you know, more produce, good clean water.
I'd like to add one thing. We think about detoxing in terms of like food, but how about like a mental detox?
Yeah.
So stop watching like the news, even if you really want to see it, maybe stop watching it for a while.
Yeah.
Stop reading the paper, looking at all the negativity in the world. Maybe meditate, really clear your mind, like every day. Commit to like maybe a month of trying that, and then see if that really helps. That is a way of detox. It's like a mental detox, you know. So
hit that like button.
I think that's also important.
And another thing to consider is we are always detoxing. Our liver is amazing. It's always detoxing. So, and again, if you're not putting in bad stuff, if you're just putting in produce and, you know, all the whole plant foods, one thing that has just come to mind, if you really want to boost your detoxification, would be sulforaphane. It's a plant compound. It's actually an insecticide that cruciferous vegetables produce. So if you up your intake of kale, broccoli, cauliflower, sprouts, cabbage, any other cruciferous spring to mind, mustard greens, mustard in general, horseradish, it boosts your liver detoxifying enzymes. Basically, is the point. It's very, very in insects it kills them. In humans it really boosts your health like crazy. And very important, you either chop your veggies 40 minutes before you cook them, in which case the sulforaphane will have been produced. These two chemicals, glucoraphanin and myrosinase is the enzyme, and they have to mix together to create this chemical flare. The myrosinase is killed by cooking. So chop them, leave them 40 minutes before you cook, and then you'll get all the sulforaphane. If you don't have time to do that, you can chop and cook straight away. Then you can add in some raw cruciferous. You know, I use red cabbage oftentimes as a garnish and a nice colour. And then the myrosinase in that will cross-react with the glucoraphanin in the cooked vegetables inside your tummy and produce the sulforaphane in there. That's magic.
That's the sciencey bit.
That's the sciencey bit.
Go up slowly at the stool jar.
Bowman the Fool. That's the sort of thing Rick would say from Rick and Morty. Oh, are we that far behind? Right, we need to catch up. Alex, I want to recover from my eating disorder. Sorry to hear about that, my friend, but I don't want to gain weight and be fat. What can I do? Be scientific about it. I know it can be a bit of a sort of stumbling block, with a mental sort of block with eating disorders, but being scientific, being on the odd scales. So for me, if I'm trying to grow, I eat enough calories that my body weight's going up a little bit each week. And if it stops going up, I add in some more calories. And then on a cut, I'm trying to drop a pound a week or whatever. And if that slows down, I then take out a few more calories until I'm dropping that pound. It is kind of that simple, really.
I guess that's like a nutrition perspective.
Yeah.
I just want to add in the perspective of how do I sort of say it? If there's like, so if we have like an issue with eating, it's not the food, so it's like an emotional thing. So things have to be addressed on the level at which the problem is. So if it's an emotional problem, it has to be looked at on an emotional sort of level. So I just wonder if you have any like counselling or any help with the emotional side of that issue, because
Good point.
That would then help to heal the root of the
I've
problem.
had so many clients before who I just couldn't help. I gave them all the best advice, but for some reason that they weren't in a place to do it, and they would have been better off spending that money with a counsellor. Yeah, that's huge. Monica, I was so really realised that I managed to get rid of my fear of people and just went on with it. Nice. I feel so alive now. When I was a doorman, I would shut off my emotions and just put on this like tough exterior and, you know, just think that was what men had to do. But it's BS. Like, it's just, that's not living. Angry Vegan! Is there another episode of Come Dine With Me coming? Unfortunately, one of my computer blew up and I had no backup files of that episode. So we're one episode missing. So... But
we could do the last episode now we move into the house.
Yeah, I think we probably will shoot the final episode and we will do that, which is my turn to cook. Although I probably won't do the cooking, we're going to do it all silly. I don't know, something will happen. But yeah, it's kind of all gone a bit Pete Tong. Sorry about that. Dreamer 170504 is here. Hi, hello my friend, how are you? Welcome to the stream. How's your day been? Madam Bowen is in the house. Yeah. Jackie's saying how we kind of synced up. Gemma, you look vibrant, she's saying.
Oh, I thank you.
Monica, thank you for the advice. Paul, I'm sure my body will get used to it. Yeah. Yeah, you're always a lot sore for the first couple of weeks. And then sometimes if you change your program round or if you use a different kind of training protocol, you can get a bit sore again for a couple of weeks, but it don't usually last too long. Oh no, something happened.
I think go down a bit. I think I saw where we were.
No.
Oh no, you were right. Oh, that's confusing. Yeah.
Alex, it's gone slightly better since I've gone vegan, but I still get nervous if I eat over 150 grams of carbs or 1,000 calories. Wow, that's low. Yeah, you look after yourself, young. I can't quite see young person. Yeah. Jesse worked for me. I was getting my body fat percent down. Eat small. I've been fully vegan for about 6 months. Nice, felt great initially, but now I have foggy head, low energy levels. So I have food intake all wrong and I've put on weight. So, you know, maybe you're eating slightly too many calories if your weight's gone up relative to your energy output. And then I'll tell you what, I would invite you to get on the Chronometer app, CRONOMETER, chronometer.com. And, you know, it's a food tracking app. Put in what you've eaten. It'll tell you calories, macros, micronutrients. You know, just make sure you've got everything covered. But really and truly, supplement B12, D3. Probably DHA is a good idea as well. And eat legumes on the daily, whole grains on the daily, a good amount of different coloured veggies, emphasising your leafy greens, some fruit, a small amount of nuts and seeds, particularly chia or flax seeds, more flax seeds for a male. And so they need to be daily, chia or flax seeds. Your herbs and spices, you know, your herbal teas and things. And seaweed, like a couple of sheets of nori or half a teaspoon of dulse or arame flakes on the daily. It's about 150 micrograms of iodine. And, you know, put that all into Chronometer. If you're eating a calorically adequate diet of a range of different whole foods, you're going to have everything covered. Like I say, B12, DHA, D3 as well. Just check on Chronometer and make sure that it is all in there. I do offer online coaching, like telephone, Skype consultations. I do offer bespoke nutrition plans if people want, which is £30, Great British pounds, and henshopable.com. Calm. Give it, your money.
Is there a chance, like, when people
Oh, and there's that video. What's the video? In my featured videos playlist, I think it's called How to Plan Vegan Bodybuilding Meals. It would equally say How to Plan Healthful Vegan Meals. It's the same stuff, really.
So if people feel
What's that?
naff when they're on a vegan diet, like it's happened to me. Like, you know, you can go vegan, but then what have you been doing for the whole rest of your life before that? Like, so obviously,
If you maybe you're detoxing stuff out.
Yeah, that's what I'm sort of getting at. Like, we go through phases of healing and detoxing, and I've been vegan for nearly 6 years now, but I still am going through phases of a bit more internal cleaning, healing, that sort of thing.
Are you eating all whole foods? Or are you putting in some junky processed foods? Like, that won't be great.
Yeah.
Very rarely, and you probably would have been more at the start, so I doubt it's this, but there are nutrients, sort of meat-based nutrients, that basically animals produce from the plant foods. They then make, creatine, carnitine, things like that, probably like 100 other nutrients. And, we have the genes there to make them, but if historically we've never had to particularly do it because we're taking in exogenous meat-based nutrients, then our genes would have shut down the production, and there may be a period of trying to catch up. So it can be, you feel a bit naff for a bit until your genes then reawaken. They will come back on. And
then you don't just come out the other side. You feel way, way better than you ever did with all those animal products in there.
Yeah, Madam Bowen, there's a charity that has 24-hour famine each year to raise money for children called World Vision once a year. Or charity, perhaps. I don't know what we're talking about.
Ah, Medical Medium! Medical Medium! Princess Peaches! Oh my god, I just got that book for Christmas, the thyroid one. I haven't got the other one. He keeps mentioning that other book, so I'm going to get that. Yeah, Medical Medium, I just got it. And yeah, he's talking about a 90-day protocol for healing your thyroid issues, which he says is actually a virus. And he talks about starting the day with cellulose. And I've been doing it for a few days, and now I feel good. I'm going to do it probably forever now. Yeah, it's really funny that you mentioned that book. I just got it, and I love it.
Madam Bowen, I don't remember what you're talking about, lovely. Could you clarify, please? Barrowman the Fool, wishing you to the best, seeing your health changes and improvements. It's amazing, but seeing you change, adapt, and grow your resource footprint, become more plastics, keep up. We're trying our best in the world. We're trying our best. It's a bit of a crappy excuse, really, but it's so hard to get anything, not with plastic, where we live. There's not really farmers markets and things. It's really supermarkets and stuff. And I want to show on the video, partly I want to show as much variety as I can so people can see, you can get loads of different things. It's not restrictive. And for my own sanity, I want to eat a range of things. And nutritionally, I want to eat a range of things. But yeah, it's very hard to get much. I would be so limited relative.
Yeah.
But that's not a good excuse, is it? That's a bit like someone could use that excuse for eating animals. So I'm kind of conscious that I'm performing my own logical fallacy that I would look down on someone else for doing.
It's a little tough because we don't drive. Well, I can drive, but we don't have a car, so that makes it harder to get stuff.
Feels like excuses though, doesn't it?
Yeah, if we live in the house with those girls, they get a delivery from somewhere.
I know.
They get boxes of stuff.
I know.
So maybe we can go in with them and get. We aren't about to get everything.
Yeah.
We still have to get a shop from where we do, but maybe there's.
Let's make a start.
There's some stuff that we can get not in plastic with them. Maybe.
Let's make a start. I'd hate to think of poor animals suffering because of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get on with it.
Yep.
Jesma, I thought you said you had 20/20 vision now. No, my eyes historically have been terrible. But when I ate whole foods vegan, within the first 6 months, I think my eyes got more than 50% better.
You had a test.
Sorry.
You and I tested.
No, 100% better. No, that don't make sense. They were twice as strong. Within 2 times of going to the opticians, because basically my eyes were getting stronger, I had to have weaker and weaker contact lenses. Yeah.
And they improved other times, didn't they, since, so...
So my eyesight was twice as strong. I don't think I had any further improvements after the first 6 months or a year. Desmond, did you work in the mail? Yeah, Castle Mail. I was the big Leary one. Stephanie, can you recommend a loop resistance band you know of that's made of vegan material, such as I don't bring anything up? I've heard, and in fact it was from the people themselves, Strength Shop, online store, Strength Shop. I've heard that their stuff is all vegan by default. I mean, maybe they don't know enough about it to know that there might be lactose in the powder in the band. So do double check, but that would be my first port of call. I know all their lifting belts are definitely vegan. Alex, I'm proud for being able to up my intake since it's about 500 calories. So wow.
Awesome. Yeah, congratulations with the changes that you've made. It sounds like you're on the right track.
Yeah. I said, Bob Voice, hate to say it, but yes, the glasses make people look less intimidating and more intelligent and less aggressive. If I'd have known that, I'd have worn them on the door, so hoping that people would start on me more often. Back when I was an idiot, I had to preface that. Bazgen, if you had to choose 3 exercises to do for the rest of your life, which ones would it be? Oh, that's a hard one, isn't it? Oh, well, it wouldn't be very well balanced for a start, would it? Wouldn't be very well balanced. So, but yeah, I guess some sort of a squat movement pattern, a chest press, ideally a shoulder press, but if you couldn't have that. Banana TV's in the house. What's up, ladies? Happy New Year, guys. Nice to see you back on, by the way. Guys, check out Banana TV. They are awesome YouTubers over in the Caribbean, St. Martin. I went there for a holiday. It was a beautiful island. And they are 2 beautiful, lovely lady YouTubers. So go and subscribe to those guys. What was I saying? Some sort of I'm going to say medium grip low pulley row or medium grip bent over row for a bit of spinal erectors. If I had to, but that's a false trichotomy. That would never happen. You know what I did there?
Yes.
Got dichotomy. And Madam Bowen, what's this giving you money all about? Well, basically, you give me money and then I'm happy.
He just said it once in a video randomly, and I just cracked up laughing. It's just become a thing that we say now.
Just because we sell like clothing and online plans and coaching, and you know, I just make a joke out of it, and I'm just quite brazen that, you know, sometimes we have to make a bit of money to make this all sustainable.
Sometimes, you know, you're talking about things and you have to say like, oh, you know, I do bespoke plans, and then it's a bit like, oh, you're already saying it, but you're not saying it. So, yeah, it's just like saying it outright. Oh, give us your money.
Yeah.
You've lately been getting more and more flamboyant with the...
Yeah. Yeah, people just have taken to it, and they say they really love it. So you got to give the fans what they want. Hashtag give us your money. No, but seriously, do give us your money. Jackie's off. Well, go much love. Love what you're doing. We'll arrange a call with you both. Oh, with us both. Lovely.
Oh, bye, Jackie. Thank you for
lovely.
the super chat.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us.
Really kind.
Bittery Chuck. How do you argue with the "it's already dead" argument? I'd say to them, do you understand the rule of supply and demand? And in my brain, I want to say you imbecile, but then I know that that's not the best way to... We need to connect with these people.
I've never heard that argument. I don't...
Yeah, no, I've heard that. But yeah, supply and demand, or really it should be called demand and supply. You know, if no one's demanding those products, they won't keep killing animals. Olivia, I only use organic products. Good for you. Yeah, Felicia, I stopped watching all the news with Trump and I feel $1 million. Yeah, we don't watch terrestrial TV. Alicia's in the house. Hi, lovely. Oh yeah, Purple Piplup's on. Purple Piplup agreed with me. David Burr, bike is short for bicycle. Okay. I did not know that. Thank you for sharing that wisdom. Sebastian, so are you guys going to grow your own organic food once you buy your new place?
We'll be renting, but that's not really what you asked anyway, it's beside the point. I feel like we'll grow some stuff initially, definitely. I definitely want to get some herbs on the go straight away because that'll save money and
there is quite a lot of land with the place, but the landlady's not letting us have it all at once.
Sort of wants to see that it can be maintained.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. Is there stuff growing already in the bit that
I don't
they are
know.
having? But I wouldn't be surprised, and very, very likely is already the answer to that.
I would like that to happen.
William Morocco's in the house. What's up? Purple Piplup, I got that bit at Christmas because my mum got me a leather bag. Ah,
yeah.
Wow. Madam Bowen, thanks below. It says I bought some Grand Linseeds from early due to one of your videos. Thanks for giving me the heads up. You're very welcome. The Peacetime Book Club. How do you promote your videos? I mean, obviously, I've got my other social media platforms, but really and truly, you don't see much traffic. I think if people are on Facebook, they're there to use Facebook, and really, I saw less than 1% of my views were coming from there. So now I post natively to Facebook as well, and so I optimize the video for that platform. Yeah, don't really. Just initially got friends to obviously to watch and whatever. I do mention on Instagram, there's a new recipe video up or whatever.
You do share your videos on Facebook in all the groups?
Yeah, on Facebook, share them in Facebook groups, and then obviously people will come over more likely.
You go and get involved and chat in the comments of other people's videos.
Yeah, to grow subscribers really, like do become active in the community, comment on other YouTubers' content. Collaborations can be fairly good for growth. Don't expect them great things particularly, but it can be a benefit. And just, I think the sort of etiquette really is to try to just contact YouTubers of a similar sort of amount of subscriber base, you know, because obviously they probably want to feel that it's worth their while, you know, because you kind of cross promote each other probably. What else can I say really? It's really, I would invite you to join up with like a content creators. There is a YouTube channel called Video Creators, and there's other ones very similar. From Video Creators, you'll find the other ones, but really it's about, number one, having a title that grabs people's attention and makes them want to click. Number two, having a thumbnail that's attractive and makes people want to click. And then the video, you know, just offer the best value you can, you know your target audience, sort of research what are the most watched videos of that genre, you know, put keyword searches, try and find, optimizing your keywords is huge. I won't run on here because this is not this sort of a channel to talk about this, but yeah, I didn't know for the first couple of years. I was just doing it all off, you know, my own, just guesswork really, and yeah, I wish I'd have found video creators, people like Daryl Eves, Roberto Blake, Nick Nimmin earlier on. I think that's the real, yeah, they're the people to ask. Oh, it's jumped like crazy.
Why does it always do it?
Josiane, hey Paul and Gemma, what do you think about soy? Is it good for the human body? It's excellent for the human body. It's a bean. You know, there's a lot of nonsense talked about phytoestrogens, probably propagated by the dairy industry. I wouldn't be at all surprised. And just lowers your risk for cancer and all sorts. You know, there's male bodybuilders taking in tons of soy. They've not grown titties. And yeah, there's a load of nonsense. High amount, the only thing that might be a concern is in high doses, particularly of like isolate, it seems to raise IGF-1 in the same way that animal products do. which would accelerate cancer growth should you have that going on.
What would be a high doses?
Well, they're saying up to 3 doses is definitely safe. 5 to 6 doses, we're not really sure. There's not much science in 7 or more doses, servings. Whatever a serving is, I'm not entirely sure what they're classifying. I couldn't find it. Look on their nutritionfacts.org is your best bet. They're kind of impartial. They look at all the best studies and they look at who funded them and, was it decent science?
I mean, most people aren't going to have more than even up to 3 servings a day, are they?
When I first went vegan, I just got a big tub of soy protein because it was cheap, like 5 kilo, and I was using that multiple times. I'd have tofu, I'd have edamame beans, and probably I was having quite a few servings. But it's the same thing, isn't it? Like, why just go mad on one type of produce? Eat a range, and then you get the best health benefits. But another way to look at it is, by the time the protein gets into our bloodstream, it's broken down into its constituent amino acids. So, it's basically got a good amount of different amino acids for human consumption to grow human muscle tissue. Well, if I'm eating a range of different plants and I'm going to be getting all those same amino acids, surely that's as much of a risk. So maybe it's total protein intake that might be the problem and not just soy. There's not a lot of science on it, so we don't know. We know animal protein definitely raises your risk for a lot of illnesses. Not so much about... It seems like at whole plant foods, small amounts are definitely healthy. But I guess getting into bigger amounts, that's more of a processed food, it's, especially protein powders, which are just isolated proteins. So generally, when we take one element out of a whole food, that tends to cause harm. So, yeah. Obviously, I'd eat it over animal produce all day long, though. Thanks, Monica. Oh, race leavers in the house. HMO, I'm taking B12, D3, DHA, dulse, and all whole foods. Pretty much all just nice. I've been vegetarian all life prior to being vegan. I'll contact you for a consultation. Sweet. Yeah, I look forward to cyber meeting you, my friend. Well, Skyping or whatever. Julie Chambers, hi, can I do for extreme candida, please? I guess you're asking, what can you do? So Gemma cured hers, and hers was the worst that her kind of specialist, like a private doctor she went to see, worst he'd ever seen. And he was advising high fat, low carb, because they eat carbs and all these nasty sort of prescription or sort of drugs, or even natural antibiotics and all the foods that fight that type of thing, but oregano oil and different things, and they were making her feel really ill. And then we found out not high carb, not high fat, high carb. So, and it's the same problem that we get with diabetes. It's just too much fat in the way. So then the blood sugar gets stuck in the bloodstream, goes too high, and then the candida in the bloodstream obviously eat that up. They're there for a reason. They are in symbiosis with us, and they are meant to eat up any slight excess, but it's when it gets too high because fat's in the way. And the minute you take out, a lot of fat, and then the glycogen can get where it needs to go, your blood sugar's not crazy high for extended periods. And candida, how long did it take you once you went high carb?
It's hard to say because I didn't have any tests to find out, but within a week I felt better than I felt.
The high fat thing really wasn't working. What, 2 years?
Yeah, in a week I felt better than I'd felt in 2 years. The difference was just incredible. It
seems to me that we have evolved eating high amounts of carbohydrate, lower amounts of fats, lower amounts of protein. I've said this earlier in the stream, so I won't sort of bang on about it too much, but fruits are there in abundance. When we evolved in the tropics, we can dig tubers up all year round. Animals run off, so there's fat and protein, let's run off because it doesn't want to get murdered. And then You know, avocados are around for like 2 weeks. Nuts, like they're in these huge fleshy casings and then in these hard shells. You know, there's no jugs of oil, there's no bags of shelled nuts in nature. It's hard work for little reward, whereas you've got all this plethora of delicious smelling and tasting and attractive colours. You know, the fruit wants us to eat it. We really did live in symbiosis with, you know, with the plants. They wanted us to eat the fruit, so we walk around and poop the seeds out all over the jungle. And we're meant to eat high carbs. It prevents, treats, and reverses, you know, it prevents 14 of the 15 leading killers of the Western world. And it reverses 3, including the top killer, heart disease. You know, so for the win, high carb, lower fat, lower protein, whole plant foods.
Can I ask a question?
You can ask a question. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wonder how much longer we're streaming.
I think you should do a super chat though if you want to jump ahead of everyone else. Oh yeah, we were meant to stop 20 minutes ago. How far behind are we?
I just got to get ready.
Yeah, you got to be up for
my course in the morning. I was going to go and dry my hair in Ben's room, but would you hear it in here? Would it bother you?
No, that's all right then, because I want to settle down.
Okay. We've been finding it. We really wanting to improve our nightly sort of sleep routine. We can be so engrossed in our passions that we can just sit there till really late, like at night, doing these things, and then we think, oh god, we should really settle down, and then we come off our computers or whatever, but then we've been staring at screens and then we just buzz and we can't sleep. So we're trying to get more of a ritual of like settling down early and eating earlier and things like that. Yeah, we're going to sign off. I was late up this morning because of that, and then I didn't get enough things done in the day. It annoyed me. So we'll sign off there. Tomorrow, if you're in Norwich, Cube of Truth tomorrow, 12:30 till 4, or probably 12 till 4 for the 12 o'clock for the briefing at the start. Thank you so much, Jackie and Sebastian, for your super chat. Really, really kind of you.
And thanks everyone for joining. It's a lovely stream tonight, nice and busy. So that was very good. So new video on Sunday, really lovely recipe video. We had a lot of fun and had some lovely food today.
Tell everyone the video you're bringing out on Sunday.
No, it's a secret.
Oh, okay.
It's a secret. And so nice to connect with you guys again. I've really missed all you guys, but you know, rest assured, I'm just trying to do what's best for the channel to reach the most people. So, but I really enjoyed tonight's stream, and we'll be back on next Friday as usual. The video Sunday, video Tuesday. If you're in Norwich, come and say hi. We'll be at the Haymarket doing a Cube of Truth. And love you guys so much. If you're new here, if you want to have the fittest, healthiest body while not harming the animals or the environment, hit that subscribe button, click the bell icon so you're notified of new videos and live streams as they come about. And
if you want to watch back all the old live streams, they are on Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon, link in the description. Here's your money. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We love you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye now. Bye, lady.